I wish a
milletimiz,
holy
İslam alemi
uh,
ve tüm
night
insanlık
for
için
everyone, and
huzura,
may
esenliğe,
God
barışa
bring
vesile
us
kılmasını diliyorum.
happiness and prosperity
Ülkemizde,
to
Suriye'de,
all across the
Libya'da
world. In
ve
our country, in
dünyanın başka
Syria, in
yerlerinde
Libya,
şu
in
mübarek
all parts
günlerde
of the
bile
world,
masum kan
we know
akıtmaktan
that even
çekinmeyen
during these
teröristleri
holy days and
ve
nights,
zalimleri
terrorists do
Mevlam
shed blood.
Kahhar
May
ismiyle
Allah
kahretsin diyorum.
destroy
Ülkesine ve
them
halkına
all
hizmet için
for the
koşturan
name of
kamu
Kahar.
görevlilerine
We
dahi
know that
tahammülü
there
olmayan
are still
pusu
some
kurarak
out there who do not
kanlarını
have
döken,
even a slight
üzerlerine
amount of
yürüyerek
tolerance to
hakaret
the
ve
public
darp edenleri
officers
asla
who do
unutmayacağız.
attack and kill them.
İçişleri
We will
Bakanlığımız
never
tarafından
forget what
oluşturulan
they have done.
Vefa Sosyal Destek
VEFA
Gruplarına
Social Relief Support
PKK'lıların Van'da yaptığı eylem
Social
ile
Relief Group was
CHP'lilerin Adana'da
attacked by
gerçekleştirdiği
PKK
saldırı
terrorists
farklı araçlarla olsa
and
da
as well
aynı
as
gayeye yönelik.
CHP
Varlık
representatives
sebeplerini
in
bu
Ankara,
ülkenin çöküşüne,
even though their motives
batışına,
were different,
yıkılışına,
they acted in a similar
milletin yokluk
fashion.
ve acı
We
çekmesine
know that
bağlayanların
there are those
gerçek yüzlerini
who out
gizlemeye
there are
artık
still trying
suratlarındaki
to
maskeler,
hide their
makyajlar
real
da
faces, but
yetmiyor.
their true faces will be revealed no
Özellikle
matter how
ülkemizin içinden geçtiği şu zor
much of
günlerde
makeup they have on
insanların
their
işine,
faces or how many
başına,
masks they wear.
ekmeğine,
During
sağlığına
these rough
gösterdiğimiz
days, we
hassasiyetle
have been showing the
özellikle
highest level
tahammül
of
edemeyen
sensitivity
milli
to
zihniyet bu
the
iki
needs
olayda
and
kendini
necessities of
açıkça
our
ifşa
people.
etmiştir.
But these people
Siyasette
have revealed
hukukta
their true
ittifakı
faces with
sahada
those attacks
devlete,
and
kamu
actions that they have
görevlilerine,
taken on. They
mazlumlara
kept on
saldırmak
attacking
üzere
the
genişletenlerin
oppressed,
hesabını
the public
elbette
officers, and
milletimiz
all who are
sandıkta
working
görecek.
for this nation, and
Şu
they
siyasi
will be
çıkarlar
learning their
uğruna
lessons
eli kanlı
at the
teröristlerle ve
election polls.
uzantılarıyla
We know that there are
bizden çok
many
ittifaklar içine girenlerin
bloodthirsty
yakasından
terrorists and their
milletimizin eli
extensions,
eksik
their
olmayacak.
offshoots, and our
Geçmişte
nation
ülkemizin
will
her
always
meselesi
keep a
gibi
close
bu
control
kanayan
on
yarayı da
them.
kalıcı
As we
olarak
have
çözmek
done
için
so
gayret
far, we
gösterdik.
will again
Hamdolsun
show the
bu
highest level
çabanın
of
karşılığını
effort to
halkımızın desteğini
heal that
devletimin
bleeding
yanına çekmeyi
wound.
başararak aldık.
And praise
Bu
be to
samimi
God, we have
mücadeleyi
managed
en ağır
to
ifadelerle
address all
itham
those
edenlerin
problems with the
bugün
support of our
3-5
people.
milletvekilliği
We know
veya
that there are
belediye
people
başkanlığı
who
için
are
düştükleri
working for
zelil
certain
hali
offices,
ibretle takip
seats in
ediyor.
offices, and we have
Amacı
been
hakka ve
following
halka
what
hizmet
they have been
olmayan
doing
tüm proje
with indeed
siyasetçilerin,
shame.
partilerin
And
eninde sonunda
all these politicians
düşecekleri
and
durum
political
işte bu.
parties who do not have any concerns
Milletvekili
or aims
pazarı kurmaktan
to serve
terör
people, but
örgütleriyle
only
ittifaka,
gain their own
ülkesini yurt
interests
dışında
will
karalamaya
fall
kadar
into
her
the
türlü
same
kepazeyi sergileyip
position.
üzerini
They do
demokrasi
show all
kılıfıyla örtmeye
sorts of
çalışanlar için yolun
heinousness
sonu
and
görülmüş.
try to hide what they
Demokrasiden
do
ve
with
milli iradeden
without
ümitlerini
any grace.
kestikleri için buldukları
And
her
they
fırsatta
now have
darbe,
given up their
junta,
hopes of
kaos,
um,
felaket çığırtkanlığı yapanlar
rule,
ülkemizin
but now they
bizleri
are
üstüne çökmesini
creating some
bekleyenler
uproar for
cevabı
military
her
rule,
zaman olduğu
tutelage,
gibi
or
yine
junta, and
milletimizden
they will
alacaklar.
receive the toughest
İnsanımızın
answer
inancına
response
ve kültürüne
from our
usumeti
nation yet again.
hayatlarının
We
merkezine
have full
yerleştirdikleri
belief
halde
in our people,
ülkenin ortak
and we
değerlerini
know that
istismar
we
ederek
have many common
yıllarca
values of
ayakta
this country.
kalanların
And there
foyalarıyla
have
şimdi
been many
diğerciler
out there who
ortaya çıkıyor.
abuse the common values of our
Türkiye
people, our nation,
önümüzdeki
and they
dönemde
are now being exposed,
sadece
and
salgını
their true
yenmekle
faces are
ve
being
2023
revealed
hedeflerine ulaşmakta kalmıyor.
gradually.
Aynı
Turkey
zamanda
will not
bu
only
hastalıklı siyasetin
during this rough
tetikçilerinden
patch
kurtulacak,
overcome the pandemic
demokrasi ve
and
kalkınma yolculuğumuzun
hit the 2023 targets,
ve
but will
2071
also get
menzilleri
rid of
için
all these
gelecek
dirty
nesillere
mindsets.
tek millet,
And we will
tek
be
bayrak,
carrying
tek
over
vatan,
our
tek devlet
values to the
temelleri
next
üzerine
generations
yükselen
with the
bir
principles
Türkiye
of one
bırakmakta
flag, one
kararlıyız.
homeland, one
Bu
nation,
vesileyle
and
bir kez daha
one state.
salgın
We are
döneminde
determined to have
65
these
yaş
values
üstü
transferred
ve
over.
kronik
And
hastalığı olan
during this time of
vatandaşlarımız
a
başta
pandemic,
olmak üzere
we know that
milletimize
there
hizmet
are
etmek için
many public
gece gündüz
officers,
çalışan
many
Vefa Sosyal Destek
people,
Grubu
for example,
mensuplarına
from VEFA
şahsım
Social
milletim
Support
adına
team,
teşekkür ediyorum.
who helped the
Aynı
citizens of
şekilde
this country,
sağlık
especially those over
personelimize,
the age of
güvenlik
65 and under
güçlerimize,
the age of 20.
insanlarımızın
And on the other
günlük
hand, our healthcare
hayatlarını
professionals, our
kolayca
law enforcement and professionals in many public offices who have been exerting many efforts to ensure that our people are at ease. They deserve special thanks as well. And I convey special thanks to each and every one of them. My distinguished colleagues, my great nation, as you know, we held the presidential cabinet meeting today, and today as well we addressed the needs related with the pandemic, and we talked about many issues regarding our combat against this virus, against this outbreak, and we have been successfully running our activities. But of course, it is not only enough if we do act on a standalone basis. The problem concerns the whole world, and the problem can only be tackled through a solution that would address all parts of the world. But in some countries, we know the outbreak has just gained speed. For years, we know that many closed the doors of the gates of their country to the whole world, and we cannot indeed continue as such and wait without doing anything. That is why we need to reorganize ourselves and our lives. And as I said many times before, nothing will be the same. Nothing will be as they used to be. Therefore, we need to be preparing our lives, organizing our lives, and take the precautions, measures necessary accordingly. We define this new period as the controlled social life. At the moment we step out of our homes, from the moment we step out of our homes to the moment we step back into our homes, we need to be wearing masks, and it should grow as a habit for each and everyone. Likewise, in social life, in public transportation, everywhere in society, we need to be adhering to the social distancing rules and try our best to keep at least 1 or 2 meters away from one another. We should be frequently using disinfectants and certain other cleaning and hygiene materials in our lives regularly. Masks should always be a part of our lives. Cleaning materials, hygiene materials should be an indispensable part of our lives. And unless it is necessary, it is of utmost importance for us to, of course, stay home. And we in our country do not have any problem. The number of the cases under treatment at our hospitals is very low. And new hospitals will become operational. With these new hospitals and with the new healthcare professionals to be recruited, our healthcare infrastructure will grow stronger and stronger. Başakşehir City Hospital's second phase will come operational on Thursday. We will be inaugurating the hospital with the participation of the Prime Minister of Japan through video conferencing. And this is going to be called as Pine and Sagura Hospital. Pine will represent us, and Sagura will represent China, because we have constructed this hospital with collaboration with the Japanese colleagues, and we wanted this hospital to symbolize both nations. In Yeşilköy, Sancaktepe, we have almost completed the construction of the new hospitals with 1,000 bed capacities each. And another hospital will come operational on May 29. Yeşilköy Murat Dilmener Emergency Case Hospital and Hadımköy İsmail Kurtulmuş hospitals will hopefully come operational, be open for service on May 31st. Thanks to the experiences we have gained throughout these past 2 months, we have managed to address all issues related with the pandemic in terms of, for example, treatment, diagnosis, and many other relevant issues. Considering the number of the fatalities and the number of total cases, and as well our system to curb, to stem the further spread of the virus, we have been very much prudent and keeping a close track on every recent development. The success of our country has also been recognized as an exemplary model across the world. In the face of coronavirus, novel coronavirus, or some other viruses, we are now much more prepared. We have been constantly sharing the new cases and the fatalities, and now we have now been observing a stable line. But we need to bring that curve downwards and ensure further decline of the new cases. And we, as the 83 million people of this country, are able to do so. We have initiated a normalization calendar, as you know, but we, of course, can achieve more if we bring the number of the new cases even lower and lower and bring it down to zero. And if the otherwise is proven, then we might be obliged to apply much more rigid measures yet again. Therefore, our citizens should try their best and adhere to the rules in order for their health, for the health of all the society, the members of the society, and for the gears of the economy to function back again. Thus, it obliges all of us to be paying attention to the rules, and it is a struggle that is only possibly achievable with the help and contribution of all. And for the safe and prosper future of our children and ourselves, we need to be doing what is necessary with the coordination of the presidential office and also all the relevant ministries. We have prepared a normalization calendar, and we have been putting it in practice, as you know, gradually. For that reason, as of last week, certain workplaces such as the hair salons or barber shops or certain stores where hardware or glassware is sold, small businesses started operating. Other than minor issues, we have observed that this practice has been functioning very effectively. And the previous week, we, as you know, have lifted the restriction for certain cities in terms of intercity travel ban, and lifted the ban on 9 cities. And of course, we know that on 15 cities still we have curfews practiced for weekdays and national holidays, and I would like to thank to all the citizens living in those cities for their understanding, for their patience, and for adhering to the rules of the lockdowns. And the laborers who are traveling to the areas where the tea harvesting is done, our citizens will be allowed to travel this way. Tea harvesting in our country will be possible without any problem. Similarly, stock breeding, agricultural activities, or industrial activities will continue, and we will show the highest level of facilitation for our people to make the daily life easier, to make the economy thriving again. We have been continuously taking steps forward. Of course, there are citizens who have been negatively affected by the measures taken throughout the pandemic time. And for that reason, we have initiated the Social Protection Shield, and we have supported millions of our citizens with 1,000 liras in cash per month. And short-time labor subsidies were provided to more than 6 million people, and we have allocated a resource of almost 6 billion liras. And in the past 2 months, about 10 million citizens have been supported with cash without repayment, an amount which corresponds to almost 11 billion liras. We have also eased many procedures in terms of tax payment and as well banking loans and many other incentives and support programs. The support programs initiated and practiced by Turkey do not only remain on pieces of paper, but they have actually been materialized and they will be materialized. The scientific board of our health ministry has helped us form our normalization calendar into concrete form, and the new normalization steps will be followed as of the following week. In all sectors, the respective normalization plan will be materialized, and there are certain issues to be careful about, and guidelines for those have been published. The clock out and clock in times for the enterprises, the capacity of the customers and workplaces, and all the relevant criteria will be published in those guidelines. And on 24, 25, 26th of May, we will also have the curfew imposed, the lockdown imposed. And hopefully, following the Eid al-Fitr, we won't have the need to go for such lockdowns. And on May 24, between the hours of 10 to 12, the citizens over the age of 65 will be allowed to go outside. And for young people, this week on Wednesday and Thursday, they will be allowed to be outside. The inter-city travel restrictions will be in place for the next 15 days. And when it comes to the visits at the prisons, the visits will be possible as of June again, and about 60,000 convicts who have been sent to their homes for leave will be back to their regular programs, and our mosques will be gradually also opened for service. For a certain time, only the noon and afternoon prayers will be possible. Congregational prayers will be possible. And of course, congregational prayers will only be possible by adhering to some specific rules. And we have decided with the Ministry of Education that this year's educational program should come to an end. And the new educational year is to start as of September. And other private courses will follow their own calendars. And the announcements about the universities have already been made by the Higher Educational Board. Kindergartens and home care, the care homes will also be following the guidelines accordingly. My dear nation, while fighting against this coronavirus, we are exerting all the efforts to ensure that our country flourishes and reaches to its goals. And we have never ignored our goals. Last week, we have constructed and finalized the last phase of the 1915 Çanakkale Bridge, and the previous week we again inaugurated a tunnel, as you know, and observed the finalization of the construction process. And next week we will be inaugurating the Ulusu water dam, and on Wednesday we will be participating to the raffling ceremony of the judicial sector. And we have, of course, prepared many reforms in many areas, including the law reforms. And after the Eid al-Fitr, the waterworks of Turkey will be initiating many activities, and we will be inaugurating, opening many water dams built around the country. We have been running many activities. And in the post pandemic period, of course, the new political and economic climate will be reshaped, and we have started making plans accordingly. In June, the normalization calendar will be completed to a great degree, will be fully um, addressed, and we will be reclaiming what we have lost during this time, with much more to come in return. But in such a period, even such a rough period when the whole world is in a predicament, we still know that there are some plots organized against our country. In the past 7 years, a decade in particular, Turkey has been attacked by many in many fields, in particular in the field of economy. Last week, again, some attacked our economy using the foreign currency rates. And now they have tried to bring a plot they designed back in use again, recirculated as of last week. But thanks to the mechanisms we have developed, we indeed made their plans go upset. And all those attacks, of course, are based on a lack of digestion by some about our country. There are some who do engage in such attacks, and we will be responding and make those who attempt to come up with such attacks pay the heavy price accordingly. There are some who even set their sight on the banking loans that we provide for our entrepreneurs. And we have ensured that they indeed received their response accordingly. I should frankly say those who embezzle foreign currency from our country out to the other parts of the world will never be tolerated. On the other hand, in our fight in the areas that are of tension, high military tension ongoing, we will be exerting all the necessary efforts from Syria to Libya in a very large geography. There are some who stand against us, and I make a call to those who support the other parties to review where they stand. The whole world is now going through a tremendous change, but still there are some who do support the bloodthirsty terrorists, those people who slaughter their own people, and still lobby with them. But we ask them to see the truth immediately. No plan, no political or economic structure that is designed against us have a chance to stand against us. From the Black Sea to the Mediterranean, from the North Africa to the South, there are some examples of those acts, of course. But in the forthcoming periods, we will be completing the construction process of a great and strong Turkey. And before I conclude, I once again would like to wish a happy May 19 Youth and Sports Day for our country and our people. About 100 years ago, veteran Mustafa Kemal Atatürk did land in Samsun and started the first day of our world war of independence, and I commemorate him and his comrades. And in Gaziantep, by the way, a soldier of our armed forces fell as martyr in Gaziantep, and I wish for the mercy of God on his soul and convey my condolences to his family. And tomorrow, on 1919, we will start the celebrations and we will be singing our national anthem all together in unity. And I make a call to my people again for them to stand at their balconies or take to their windows and sing the national anthem all together. And again, it will be the anniversary of the 67th anniversary of the Crimean Tatars expatriation, and I would like to state that we will be standing with our Crimean brothers and sisters on the commemoration day of this event again. I would like to thank you all using this opportunity. May you all rest in health and peace.